Hey everyone, I'm at this beautiful little church cemetery in Goodlettsville, Tennessee to see a particular grave. Do you guys know who Lewis Marshall Jones is? Well, you'll remember him, but look at how when you see, at least if I show you a picture, I'm sure you would probably remember or know of. But look at this beautiful church cemetery. This is the entrance. This gorgeous church with a white picket fence around the cemetery behind it. So I already parked up there, and I'm going to walk into the cemetery and go find the grave, and I'll tell you who Lewis Marshall Jones is once I get there. Before I get to the grave, guys, I walked in the cemetery now. You can see it's a little bit hilly. The grave I'm going to is all the way in the back of the cemetery. I think there's graves on both sides of the church here. And that's where we are. I think it's pronounced Luton's Cemetery. It's a Methodist church cemetery. But the grave we're going to is way in the back. Way past all this empty space, even. Beyond these graves. It's a beautiful little cemetery. And graveyard, I guess. I don't know, is it a graveyard or cemetery? It's listed as a cemetery, but I always thought when it belongs to a church, it's a graveyard. This hill is steeper than you think, guys. So I'll definitely be back when I get to the grave. So we'll see you in a sec. So here we are, guys, at the grave of Lewis Marshall Jones and his wife Ramona Jones. I'll show you the stone here. It says Lewis Marshall, Grandpa Jones, October 20th, 1913 to February 19th, 1998. Country music legend, husband, father, and friend. And I think this quote was taken out of, he wrote this. I think he did write a book, and I don't know if it's out of the book, but it says, when you leave this earth for a better home someday, the only thing you'll take is what you gave away. It says it's from Falling Leaves, written by Grandpa Jones. So that might have been the name of the book. I'm not really sure. Grandpa Jones, that was his nickname. He was very popular, especially back in the 70s when I was growing up, because he was on Hee Haw. Remember Grandpa Jones on Hee Haw? From what I read, I think he was born in Henderson County, Kentucky, in a little town called Niagara. He played the banjo, and he was an old-time country music singer. I think he was one of 10 children, and his family was a sharecropper. His dad was a fiddle player, and his mother was a ballad singer. He learned, from what I read, Lewis Marshall, Grandpa Jones, the first instrument he learned to play was a guitar, but I think he was really known for the banjo, because I rarely seen him play guitar. I mostly saw him play banjo, and he was married for over 50 years to Ramona Riggins Jones, who's buried with him here. Her grave stone says January 28th, 1924 to November 17th, 2015. Musician, wife, mother, and friend. Now, I don't know where this quote came from. I don't think it's a book he wrote, but it says, the new mown hay sends all its fragrance from the fields I used to roam. When I dream about the moonlight on the Wabash, then I long for my Indiana home. It says From Back Home Again in Indiana, written by Hanley McDonald. So she was born in Indiana. So I don't know, this is what I read, guys, so, take it for what it's worth. But I remember it said in 1935, Grandpa Jones he wasn't Grandpa Jones then, but he went to Boston, Massachusetts to a radio station called WBZ. And he met a singer and a songwriter named Bradley Kincaid, who nicknamed him Grandpa when he was 22 years old, because every morning off stage during the radio shows, he was really grumpy. So he started calling him Grandpa, and that name stuck. I guess Grandpa liked that nickname, and he kept it, and he created a stage persona based around it. It's pretty cool, huh? He started performing at the Grand Ole Opry, playing guitar and banjo. His recording career was put on hold when he enlisted in the military during World War II. And he was in there from 1941 to 1945. I guess he moved to Nashville in 1946 is what I have a note, and it says 1946 is when he moved to Nashville. And he started performing at the Grand Ole Opry then. Eventually he went to television, and in 1968 became a charter member of Hee Haw. Do you guys remember Hee Haw? I used to watch that all the time. His wife would perform with him and would perform skits with him, because she was famous in her own right, and he was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1978. And in 2023, he was inducted into the Banjo Music Hall of Fame. See, I think he was really known for the banjo. He was a friend. Oh, this is interesting. By the way, the gravesite is definitely way in the back, so he's up against the woods. And if you see, the other graves are like way down there. But if you look towards the back, he's way in the back. And there's a nice little bench to sit down, because you're probably going to need it once you climb this hill. Because believe it or not, it's a little exhausting to climb up here. But he was a friend. He was a very good, close friend to David Akeman. And who David Akeman was Stringbean. He was also on the Grand Ole Opry. On November 11th, 1973, Grandpa Jones discovered the bodies of Anchorman and his wife, Estella, who were murdered during the night by robbers. So what I read was Grandpa and David shared a property. There was like 2 houses on this property. And then eventually Grandpa sold out his to David, and David owned the whole thing. But they were really close friends. So that night he went to go see him. Jones went to go see David, otherwise known as Stringbean, and found his wife and him murdered inside by robbers. That's awful, isn't it? So in January of 98, he survived 2 strokes after a show at the Grand Ole Opry. So I think it was his second show. I think he was doing 2 shows that day. And after the second show at the Grand Ole Opry, he suffered 2 strokes. He died on February 19th at 7 p.m. Central Time at a place called the McKendree Home Health Care Center in Hermitage, Tennessee. And he was 84 years old. Well, rest in peace, Grandpa. I remember him so well. I used to love his character. Even when he wasn't old, he made himself look old. And I even remember his wife somewhat. His wife, Ramona. So, says she was born on January 28th, 1924. And she was born in Van Buren, Indiana. She was an actress and a composer. And she was known, the film she was in Riot the movie in 1996, He's So Fine in 1993, an endangered species in 2017. She was married to Grandpa Jones for 52 years, to be exact. They got married on October 14th, 1946, and she was married to him until he died on February 9th, 1998. After that, I believe in around 2000, she married someone named William Eugene Gober and was married to him until November 17th, 2015, when she died. I think she says she was 97 years old. Now there's a little grave next to them, and this was, I think Grandpa Jones was married once before he was married to Ramona, because this is his daughter buried next to him from his first wife, if he was married to her. I believe he was. It says in memory of Marcia Marie Jones, Major U.S. Army, Vietnam, December 8th, 1939 to February 9th, 1998. So she's got a nice little marker, and I think she's buried him here as well. It says in memory of, so you never know, but I'm pretty sure this is where they probably buried her. But isn't this a beautiful little stone? He's got it. See, he's even got a banjo on his marker, and she's got a fiddle. She was quite talented. I remember her, they had their own little skit going on Hee Haw, where they'd wear bells on their legs or something and do a tune with the bells and sing. So yeah, I thought that was interesting, but I really liked him. I loved Hee Haw anyway. I really did. So anyway, there you go, guys. That's what I came here for. It's about an hour from my house. Again, everything is like an hour and a half away. Oh, and look, there are gravestones in the woods. I guess they aren't the last ones. There's actually gravestones back in these woods. These have to be old, I bet. It's very cold here today, guys. It's 29 degrees, so it's under freezing, and my hands are so cold right now. I want to walk around here. Maybe I'll go down to my car and I'll just do another video of this cemetery. But yeah, there you go. Rest in peace to Grandpa Jones, to Ramona Riggins Jones, and to Grandpa Jones' daughter, Marcia Marie Jones. Rest in peace, everybody. Hey guys, I am now at Forest Lawn Cemetery, also in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. I was telling you about Stringbean, and when I decided to look him up, he was a friend of Grandpa Jones, and I found out he's also buried in Goodlettsville, so I wanted to come out here as long as I was out here. And he's buried in a section called Music Row. It's so easy to find Music Row. So the main entrance is right there, where the cemetery sign is. You just come in there, and when you come in there, you take the first left, and that's Music Row. That's it, right here. So I'm going to walk around and see what I can find. I haven't looked for his grave yet, but I did see Lefty Frizzell right here. 1928, March 31st, 1928 to July 19th, 1975. And I guess that's his wife Alice. July 1st, 1928 to May 21st, 1984. And I'm not sure who this is, but he's got a guitar on his grave. Raphael John Cruz, also known as Billy Hill. Not sure who that is. 1933 to 2022. It doesn't have the exact dates of death, though. And then I also saw, I know Judy Baker is somebody, country music hostess. August 9th, 1924 to February 25th, 2000. Man, I hate when flowers are laying over. It's gonna fall again. It looks like it's broken, but at least for now. Harold Hawkshaw Hawkins. Didn't he die in a plane crash? Hold on a second. He did. Hang on. guys, he died in the plane crash with Patsy Cline. That's what I thought, but I couldn't think of what plane crash it was. But there he is, Harold Hawkshaw Hawkins. And I went and did Patsy Cline's memorial a while back. I guess there's other Hawkins here, but I'm not sure who they are. But I'm trying to find Stringbean's grave. Let me see. I'm not sure who these people are. James W. Jimmy Elrod. He's got a banjo. Bluegrass boy, it says. I guess he was a bluegrass singer. And I suppose this is his wife, Carolyn. It looks like she's still alive, but he was born July 19th, 1939, and passed away on October 15th, 2009. So rest in peace. Let me see what else I can find here. Oh, Stringbean. He's right here, right next to him. When you come into the cemetery and you take the first left, this is going to be Music Row, and it's on both sides of the road. But it'll be, Stringbean, at least, is buried on the right-hand side of the road when you come down Music Row from the entrance. So here they are. Aww. David Stringbean. (1916 to 1973). There's a banjo on his grave. I get out of the... And then his wife is Estelle, who's buried next to him, 1914 to 1973. So what I was saying that Grandpa's the one who found them. So David and his wife were murdered, and it was just horrible. I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that David and his wife were at the Grand Ole Opry doing a show, and they came home, and I guess David, he carried a pistol with him, and he had it out because he was suspicious. I don't know what made him suspicious, but maybe the door was open. I don't know, but anyway, he walked in to these two cousins who were actually ended up robbing them. One of them pulled out a gun and shot and killed David. And then his wife was running down the road of their house screaming for help, and he came outside and shot the other one. And what I read, and shot her, I should say. And he didn't kill her the first time. She's begging for her life, and he comes over and shoots her in the head and kills her. It was awful, awful, awful. And they were two cousins. I think they were the Brown brothers, I think. And they were both found guilty and sentenced to life, I guess. One of them died in prison, but the other one actually got paroled after a time. I'm not sure how much time went by. But what's really strange is, what I understand from David and his wife, they lived a really simple life. They didn't have a mansion. They lived simply. And they didn't believe in banks because of the Great Depression. So they kept all their money at home. So I guess these thieves figured he had a ton of money at his house, and that's why they targeted him. But all they got away with was $250. That's it, $250. Because they didn't know it, but I guess the Anchormans had secret pockets sewn into their clothes where they would keep most of their big money. And these thieves never found that. So for $250, I mean, to take these people's lives, how awful, huh? But I guess later, they also, one of the owners of the house or something who bought the house after obviously they passed away and it was sold, they found like $20,000 behind a brick. when they were remodeling. I guess the money was really no good because it was really in bad shape, deteriorated. But that's what the story goes anyway. But rest in peace to David and Estelle. And oh, and like I was saying, how they were found was by Grandpa Jones. Grandpa Jones was real good friends with David, and he came over in the morning in 1973 to pick David up to go back to the Grand Ole Opry, and he didn't get an answer. He walked in the house and found him dead. I don't know how he missed his wife. His wife had to be outside somewhere, but maybe there's more to that story, but that's how the story was reported. So I just wanted to bring him up because I was just at Grandpa Jones's grave. So here we go. David Stringbean Akeman. Is that how you say it? So rest in peace, you guys. What a horrible way to die. So senseless. So senseless. Actually, guys, I wanted to tell you something. So the right-hand side of this road is Music Row, but the left-hand side of the road is not Music Road like I thought. It's Masonic Garden. So it's very easy to find this section because it's right here at the front of the cemetery. And it's not very big. It's not very big. So rest in peace to everyone here. I haven't checked all the graves. It's really cold today. I want to get home too. It's getting kind of late, or traffic's going to be heavy. But yeah. It's a beautiful cemetery, but this stone over here caught my eye, even though it's not in Music Row. Beautiful Anderson bench. Look at. Aww. The best part of me was you. You captured my heart at 16 with your knockout winning smile. Wow, this is really sweet. Holding all our lives together, making all our dreams come true. We saw you as a king that deserved a crown, a husband, father, and papa, a legend and our hero. We love and miss you every day. How sweet is that? I guess that's for Anderson right here. Amazing daddy and papa. Joseph Roger Sr. March 6, 1943 to November 28th, 2021. Kind of hard to read it. You know, average people mean something too, so there you go, guys. Here's another one that's knocked over. I'm just going to pick this up. I don't like when these are... There. There we go. Alright, guys, I think I'm going to head home because I got a little ride ahead of me. But yeah, here we are. So rest in peace, Grandpa Jones and Stringbean and both of your wives and your families and everyone here. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching.